What is the best way to communicate and to get their answers, and as well as communicate any concerns?
I'd say having a dedicated person just for the retail. I think every company should be doing that right now. I really do, because it's we get feedback from millions of outreaches that our company does. The number one feedback now is, you ready for crazy, Mike? Are you a robot? That's the number one thing we get now is, are you a robot? It's a scream. The number two is, nobody ever returns my calls or my emails.
You know the number one complaint against lawyers are to the bar?
What's that?
Well, it used to be, it doesn't return my phone calls, but nowadays it doesn't return my texts, emails, and phone calls. I mean, that's the number one complaint, and which is pretty horrible in the fiduciary relationship. I always use the attorney metaphor because I think it so well translates to a public market. If you look at everybody sort of a paternalistic fiduciary relationship, you owe them information, and if time or resources are such that you can't, other than replying back that stay tuned for the press releases. If there's an active company with a budget, yeah, they should have a dedicated person. How would you recommend management schedule these phone calls? Is it, should they have a Calendly link that they have a standing appointment, or once a week they make outreach calls, or a couple times a week IR is making the outreach calls and scheduling it for the management representative? What's the best practice?
Well, it's number one, management teams should be doing whatever they can do to build real value in the company. So if shareholders have got to realize these folks need to have time to actually go out and build something, because the one thing you'll never ever hear me say is a company is undervalued. You won't hear me say undervalued. You won't hear me say overvalued, because you're very specifically valued at the close of every day. Anything else you say is baloney. Like, you want to know what you're valued at? Wait till the close. That's what you're valued at. All right. But I think if I were working for a company right now in investor relations, I would very seriously have a weekly time where I am 100% available. And maybe it's an online thing that they can, that they can either dial into, or it's a chat or something like that, where I can say, you know what, folks, we have a business to run here. We got stuff that we have to do. We got milestones we're trying to hit. But I'll tell you what, every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, at whatever time zone it is, I will be 100% available for 1 hour, and bring your stuff. And,
do you recommend doing one-offs or group meetings, or what's the best way so people, I guess if the company's small enough, are one-on-ones the best, or what do you recommend?
My friend, it's that's entirely up to the shareholder. Some shareholders don't want to put all of their information out on something. They're super introverts. Name your cliche. I would make it available to, sort of like at the grocery stores now, like 2 hours a week at the grocery store down the street from my house, they dim all the lights. Like, you got to sort of be flexible to what your shareholders want, right? But I really think where companies, especially larger ones, are missing the boat is they don't have a dedicated retail IR person now, and it's needed badly, really badly. Not because I got an opinion on it, but because our company makes outreaches, and especially the younger investors. Like, people, going back to the Bitcoin thing, kids ran to Bitcoin because there was that sense of community. And one thing almost all kids have in common now, and it's not a knock on parents are busy, but a lot of kids feel discarded by adults. So we wonder why they ran to Bitcoin. They ran to Bitcoin because they never felt alone.